It's okay. We'll handle things here in Atlanta. You folks up there have a good day. All right, 10 a.m. in the east, 7 a.m. in the west. Good morning, folks. Leon Harris here in the CNN Center. Let's get right to the headlines right now. Okay, that's right. That is your theme music. Now, folks out there have probably heard this music as well. They've also heard that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. All right? Well, you can see the differences right here on Earth, especially when it comes to decorating. So what do you do when he wants plaid and she wants paisley? Well, what you do is you tune into the HGTV show Designing for the Sexes. Here's a look.
We entertain every weekend, and it's the best seating for a lot of people.
I think having a sofa and chairs as a setup offers more personal space than a sectional does.
Dave means well, but he needs a lot of help.
In this battle, but I'm going to fight it.
Well, when they come to a point where they have to fight over these sort of things, our guest this morning referees and even offers some solutions. Our guest is Michael Payne. He's the host of Designing for the Sexes, and we're glad to have you with us here in Atlanta.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here, Leon. I have to tell you, a true pleasure.
The pleasure is all ours. Now, don't cast your professional designing eye on us just yet. We'll talk about that off camera.
Around. Right.
We'll talk about that off camera. But listen, this is really an interesting idea. How big a difference is there really between men and women? Is it all anecdotal, or is it really there?
It really is there. There really are some marked differences between men and women. It's true.
Okay.
It's true. Take wall color, for example. Men just seem to embrace the color white. And then if they're really adventurous, they might get into sort of beiges.
Oh, that's adventurous.
Women, on the other hand, oh, they're so adventurous. They want to paint rooms, burgundies and blues and greens and all sorts of wonderful colors. But almost across the board, men are fearful of color, really.
All right, so what happens with the show here? And just for those who are the uninitiated out there, I've seen it myself, but those who haven't seen it yet, what happens? Do you just let one person design the room and just let the other one deal with it, or what?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The way I approach both couples, husband and the wife, as truly equal partners. I give the husband 50% of the time and the wife too. I listen to both their opinions, and then I come up with a compromise. It's all about compromise.
Is it always easy to find a middle ground, or
no?
Have you had to separate people, or what?
Well, not exactly force them apart, but on the other hand, sometimes it takes a lot of work to find that middle ground, but there is always a middle ground, always.
Now, one thing I will say is this. I know, I speak for the rest of the guys in the club, we do like electronics.
We do.
And most women don't. Now,
That's
is that one of the big hurdles that you have to deal with a lot of times on the show?
It's one of the biggest single hurdles, because I don't know whether you are any different from other men around, Leon, but the TV just doesn't get big enough for you. Is that true?
That's me. Guilty. Guilty as charged.
And how many remotes do you have?
Probably about 5 or 6, and I do have a 100-inch screen, so.
See, I told you. Women hate that. They don't want they don't want to see the big screen TVs when they're not on. They're happy to look at them when they're on, but when they're not on, even you would admit to me that it is not the prettiest sight in the world. The big black box.
If it's not on, I don't pay attention to it.
Oh, really?
You know?
Just going to ignore it? It's not a decorative element to a room, and women like to see pretty things. Yeah. And it goes with the same with the equipment. I mean, I'm sure you just love all of your electronic boxes with their twinkling lights.
Oh, yeah.
Women don't like that either.
Okay, well,
so I have to come up with a compromise and do something about it.
Well, tell us what you did with this one couple. We're going to take a look at this one couple that you worked with on the screen.
Excellent.
So I have to ask you both, has it really sort of turned out the way you wanted it?
Absolutely.
I'm delighted. Dave, are you happy too?
Never want to leave.
And we don't.
All right, so what was their story here?
You see, here is the situation where they had this great big television just sort of sitting there. And, I mean, it was an eyesore, truly an eyesore, all the electronic equipment. What I did was to design a cabinet, put it in the cabinet, so when the doors were closed, the television just disappeared. It was a nice piece of furniture.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
Now, have you ever done something in someone's home where they absolutely just did not like it and couldn't stand it, either one of them?
Never happened. And the reason it has never happened, and hopefully will never happen, is before I do anything, I always bounce it off them first. I tell them what I'm going to do. I'm not going to spring a surprise on them, Leon. Come on.
All right, finally, got to ask you this one real quick. There's differences between men and women.
Yes.
Do those differences change as they age?
No.
Have you found older couples to be a little bit more acquiescent or different, or what?
No, sometimes it goes in the opposite direction. They put up with those differences for so long that it's time that they get their own way. You know how it is?
Well, I'm glad it's time that you finally got your own show on this. Way to go, Michael Payne. Congratulations. It's a fun show. Folks, you really ought to check it out, even though it is on another network, as they say, HGTV. Check it out. It's a good show. Michael Payne, glad to have you with us.
Absolute pleasure to meet
Good
you.
luck.
True
And I'll
pleasure.
talk to you about our decor here
Okay,
later.
yeah, let's talk about the color carpet, shall we?
Yeah, we got some work to do here. All right. Moving on. It seems that nothing...